Peace be to you. This is Omar Abdul Malik, physician associate and health educator. Just wanted to give my thoughts on the Taliban takeover in Afghanistan. So it's been obviously on the front page of every major newspaper, and it's being covered in every news station. So there's a lot of many people are around the world are very worried because they don't know what to make of the Taliban taking over. I remember, I was born in '68, so I can remember back as far back as the Carter administration very well. I can remember some remnants of the Ford administration. So I remember when the Taliban were actually the good guys. They were fighting the evil, quote unquote, communist government, and they were stereotyped in American papers as these brave freedom fighters fighting against the communist regime. So they were the good guys, and now they're, of course, seen as the bad guys. I don't know how they operate, just what I've seen in the news and in prior stories. They weren't linked with ISIS, and then somehow during the past maybe 2 or 3 administrations, they were linked with ISIS somehow, and then they became the bad guys. So it's kind of interesting seeing them come into, I guess, the Afghani presidential palace without any shooting or anything. From what I saw on news reported videos, I'm trying to fight the mosquitoes here, but there's a lot of worrying about women's rights and the treatment of ethnic minorities and so forth. So, of course, we've all seen the planes that were leaving. I think people were actually Afghanis were actually clinging to the planes as they were leaving, and some actually fell off as the planes were up in the air, which is pretty horrific to see. That's how bad many Afghanis were trying to get out before the Taliban government actually I guess started instituting their laws. There's a lot of misunderstanding about what constitutes Sharia law. In many instances, I'll say this as a practicing Muslim myself, it's subject to interpretation, depending on which of the shuyukh, which of the sheikhs or madhabs, schools of thoughts to which you may derive your information. So there needs to be understanding with that. These mosquitoes are killing me. My concern is always that of being a healthcare provider. I don't know if a lot of people understand the connection between the Afghanistan and the opium trade. So there's vast acreage of poppy fields from videos that I've seen from over there. Afghanis to whom I've spoken to, that's one of their main exports. And from that we get our Percocet and oxycodone, but we also get a lot of the illicit drugs. That's going to have an effect. I'm curious to see how that's going to affect healthcare here in America. I'm also curious to see how the Taliban are going to deal with things like the COVID-19 pandemic. I hope that the concerns about the treatment of women are sincere, in that it'll help us, we Americans, look at ourselves as a society and how we treat women. We've seen some major politicians be found, in CEOs and people in entertainment, be found guilty of sexual harassment over the years. Cuomo just stepped down from being accused of sexual harassment by 11 women. So I think we in America need to address our own issues with our treatment, quote unquote, or us men need to address our issues of how we treat women in our own society before we kind of start pointing the fingers at other societies. But I'd like to know what you think. Please be respectful to me and each other in the comments. How you think the Taliban takeover is going to affect, I guess, our dynamics in this country, in particular, how they're going to deal with healthcare. Are you from Afghanistan? Do you know somebody from Afghanistan? I know, being Muslim, I know quite a few Afghanis, so they've told me some different things. But I'd like to know what you think. I look forward to reading your comments. Take care.